Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is 3 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on a Sunday. So y'all know what that means. We are now live for another episode of Book Talk Live. Today I have a very special guest. Before I even get started, I want to send a very happy birthday to my cousin Tasha Hurd out in Hitchcock. I know y'all having a birthday party, and I wish I could still be there. Yesterday's event was not. It was family friendly, and it was fun, but it wasn't necessarily we don't always get to see each other when we want to. So I love all of y'all, and I want to give y'all roses while y'all are here. Um, as far as today, let's jump in. I have again a very special guest. Um, she is one of my mentors slash coaches slash business partners slash put a foot in my behind when I need it. Um, so I want to introduce y'all to an amazing woman, Miss Adrienne E. Bell. How you doing today?
Hi, first of all, it's Mrs. Bell. My husband's watching, so I want to make sure I put that out there. Mrs. Bell. Shout out to Donald Bell. So thank you. I always call you Dr. Destin because you're a doctor and a genius at what you do. And such a, what the word I use for you is a hidden gem. And people don't often appreciate when people go all in for them. So I just want to publicly honor you. So all y'all that done went on to be great and ain't came back and say thank you, you ain't right, because this man put you on, okay? So you got to thank the people. Don't forget about the people who helped you. So I want to, on behalf of all the people that didn't thank you, I want to personally thank you for all the people that you have helped over the years, those who thanked you and those who have not. So thank you for having me on. Whenever you have me on to talk with your team or whoever you have me talk to, I love connecting. And yes, my most favorite part is getting on you about being great. That's my favorite thing to do.
You do that very often. Like, wait, did you do that? Did you do that assignment? Where we at on this? Oh, okay. So you don't want it, huh? No, definitely appreciate it. Definitely
Absolutely.
appreciate it. And
Absolutely.
I listen, I love the energy as always. But I want the people to really know who you are, because you're very humble. You're one of those people who are again a giant in her craft, and you have helped to put people on as well. So I want you to do me a favor. Can you share your story with the people? Let them know who you are, how you got started, even what forced you into, yeah, we talked about that.
We
What
did.
forced you into this lane?
Absolutely. So, some people wake up and they say, "Oh, I had this prayer and I asked God for this." That didn't happen to me. It didn't happen. Okay. I was in corporate America for a little bit over 15 years. I was always in financial services. So whether it was tax, payroll, accounting, that was always the field that I was in. And so in 2013, I decided to publish my first book called Becoming an Intentional Wife. Shout out again to Donald Bell. We've been married 20 years this past June. And so I know a little something about relationships, just a little something. And so I decided I wanted to write a book about just being a wife and making it simple and making it easy. And so that was in 2013. I had no plans of publishing again. I had no plans of helping anybody publish. But people started coming to me saying, "Hey, can you help me publish my book?" And I said, "No, I'm not interested in helping you." And they were like, "Well, I'll pay you." I was like, "Oh, wait, hold on. Are you going to do what now?" And so I began to literally just start talking to people about the frameworks of their books, the different ideas. For about 2 years, I kind of played around with it. I was still in corporate America. However, In 2015, I was working for an energy company here in Houston, Texas, where I live with my family. The HR manager, I can see his face as we speak. And he came in and he brought me in his office and he said, Adrienne, you are amazing at your job. At this point, I was a tax analyst. And so I was the one who made sure that the building didn't get shut down because you didn't pay your taxes. Okay. And so he said, you do your job well, and we no longer need you. And so they literally gave me a severance check. And I told my husband about it. We took our kids to Disney World, and I literally came back, and I've been full-time ever since, really helping people, not just publish books, but business development. I know so many people who write books and they're still broke, and I have a problem with that. And so I don't want you to just write a book, but I want you to make money from your book. Right. And so I was forced into this. My destiny demanded that I step into this. And so I am so excited. It takes everything in me to go to bed at night because I don't want to go to sleep, because I get to help people every day, right? So all day, every day, I get the blessing, the joy, the honor, and even some of the ones that get under my skin, okay? I still enjoy it because I want to see people be great. So business development is my passion. It's what I do every day. Basically, I teach you how to make money. So you can ask Dr. Destin, okay? When I met him, we met through a mutual friend now. So shout out to Nolan Davis. He introduced us briefly, and introduced us not so long ago. And he was talking to him, and I was like, excuse me, I'm sorry, what did you say? And so we've literally been almost inseparable ever since as it relates to business, because especially men of color, I want to see men of color win legitimately. And Dr. Destin is in a field that many Black men are not in. And so I know you don't like people talking about you and doting on you and all that, but since I got the mic, I say what I want, okay? But I love seeing people go from one level to the next. And again, it's not just about the book, it's about the brand, it's about the vision, and it's also about your legacy. So if we ain't talking about legacy, we ain't talking, okay? So that's what we do. That's what we get to do every day.
That's what I love. Like I said, the energy, the passion. This is something that you love doing. And it shows apparently, right? Because there's so many people out here that are doing something that they don't necessarily love, or they're helping people with ulterior motives. Like, I'm going to help you because you got a huge name and I want to make you great. It's like, what? No. I want to push you into a platform where you now have a huge name. I don't care if you're the janitor or if you're the CEO of a Fortune 500 company, or if you were, if you were great in your previous life. I want to show you how to get better. And I love that about you. What are some of the things? Let's talk about some of these recent wins, right?
Oh, because
we've kind of partnered up on some things, and you've been, as DJ Khaled says, and another one, and another one, and another one. So let's talk about it.
So one of the things that Nolan Davis and I, we talked about the end of last year, was this year was going to be a record-breaking year. We said we were going to break records in every area of our lives. Personally, our whole team talked about breaking records. And so we've decided to help people become Amazon bestsellers. You and I have partnered together, and I think in less than 2 months, I think we've had combined, is it 10 bestsellers between, I think it is 10.
It's more than 10.
It's more than 10? It's at least 10, okay? And so it's more than just becoming an Amazon bestseller or going #1, but it's about the credibility that I always tell people, everybody's not a writer, but everybody is an author, right? And so just so those of you who are like, man, I want to write a book, you don't have to write a book. There are so many other strategies that you can implement to get that thought out of you. Okay, what makes you an author is that thought leadership that you have about a different perspective, whether it be business, parenting, motherhood, corporate life, whatever the case may be. That's what makes you an author. So we've been able to help. Shout out. I hate to shout people out because then I'll miss somebody, but Google me and sugar, okay, and you'll find it. How about that? But we've been able to really help people from a credibility standpoint become leaders in their market, and then they're getting business, and then their people are getting business, and that's what it's all about. It's not just about the book; it's about the big picture, right? And so we have been able to, and we ain't even been trying. Like we've been kind of, let's just see what happens. So just think. Yeah. Just think intentionally. We, Dr. Destin and I have made a pact that we're going to help create 200 bestsellers in the next 52 weeks. So when it comes to writing, strategizing, building your frameworks, we are putting that together for people who just want help, and serious people that are like, listen, I'll do the work. I'll get my hands dirty. I'll stay up all night. My team and I, we call ourselves Team No Sleep. Okay. So shout out to Mel Shipman and Tamara Fields. It's Team No Sleep. It's all about getting it done. And so we have been so excited to be able to help these people, these authors, go to the next level in their writing careers, in their thought leadership. And I'm so excited about what the future holds.
Exactly. And that's the beautiful thing, is that, like, I love that we've been able to partner,
right,
as far as helping each of our bases go to the next level, right?
Absolutely.
Let's talk about some of the things that you do individually, and we're gonna put that challenge out there at the end of the video, so those who are serious about going to the next level, she said it right, 252 weeks. That's 4 Amazon bestsellers, business strategies, career development for authors who want to become serious. Let me say that word again, because I don't think I said it right. Serious entrepreneurs, right? Because there's a lot of people that come and they're like, I want to become an entrepreneur. And it's like, okay, so how much work have you put in? And it's crickets, right? And then it's like, so what are you going to do for me? And we start listing out what we actually do. And it's like, this is literally what we do. We're not playing with it.
Right.
Fact check it, right? So we'll put that call out there. Serious people who are ready to take it to the next level, 200 in the next 52 weeks. And we're not playing with that number.
Can I just interject here that it's not just new authors. If you're an author and you released your book and it went nowhere, it didn't go feather, it didn't go, you sold 3 copies to you and your friends. Okay. We can help refresh it and re-release it. That's a real strategy as well. So don't just think, well, I'm already an author. It's okay. It's okay. We can help you with that too. So just want to put that out there.
Exactly. And I know that from personal experience, it is very easy. You just have to rebrand.
That's it.
Let's talk about some of the things that you do for people out here. Give me some.
I'll start with you. Do you want me to start with you?
Go for it. You just like putting me on the spot.
I'm not gonna start with you. No, but I will start with you because this is the thing. And I say this in all humility, is that we have, you hear people say, know your worth, know your worth, know your worth. But it's not just the worth, it's also your value. Value is something that can only, you can only determine your value until you know your worth. You can't do one without the other. They both go hand in hand. And so, for example, I have clients all the time, again, who come to me and they say, oh, I want to write a book. And my first question is why? Why do you want to write a book? Are you just doing it because you want to be famous? Are you doing it because you want the clout? Are you doing it because you want to just, and I always ask, do you want to be famous or do you want to make an impact? And most people don't even know how to answer that question, right? So when I talk about business development, I start from the inside out. right? Because if you make money, there are a lot of people who are saying, oh, I have a 6-figure earning business, or I have a 7-figure earning business. But if you spend 100,000 to make 100,000, you ain't made no money, sugar. Okay, so we got to come up with a different strategy. So my favorite thing to do, I always start my clients off with a think tank, because many of their ideas haven't been fleshed out. No one's ever challenged them and say, why do you want to do this? That's a waste of money. You're paying too much money. You're not paying enough money. You're not spending enough time in a certain area. So my expertise, my genius is fleshing out ideas and helping you put money and value in those ideas. Because again, thank God for your book. Congratulations, you are Amazon bestseller. But when you're done with that, what impact are you making? So it's all about the strategy. If you don't have a strategy, all you have is a book that I can get from the next person, right? But the people they won't buy your book because you have a nice cover. They buy you. And my job is to make you that expert, that thought leader, that credible source and resource that people say, man, I couldn't have done this without Dr. Destin. He helped me, he motivated me, he pushed me. But if no one's motivating him, how's he going to motivate someone else? I always tell people that I'm also called to unicorns. The unicorns are people who are highly gifted, like Dr. Destin. Like, he's a piece of work. Y'all pray for me here. He's a piece of work. So when you're highly gifted, that means you're gifted on many levels, right? You can code switch at any point. You can be Dr. Destin. You can be Dr. Desk, you could be Sugar Ray, or so exactly. So it's really teaching authors and thought leaders how to really be who they are in their fullness. I get to be Adrienne in my fullness, not because I'm great, but because I have a great team. I have a great board of directors of my life that helps me stay in purpose. And most people don't have that, right? And so like I said, my genius is helping you know, listen, I really am kind of dope. Yeah, you are. You are dope. So stop charging $2 for an hour's worth of service. Okay? All right? So we have to get to a point. I want everybody to prosper, but in a way that it doesn't seem salesy and sleazy, but it comes from a natural place. I've had to fire clients because I'm like, ma'am, I can't. But when you're irresistible to your clients, they will pay you, right? And so that's what I love doing, is creating, helping to create a framework and a value system that you are irresistible to your clients, because that's what people want. They want somebody that they can trust. And even if you're not selling anything, but you're giving out a thought, if those of you who are teachers and coaches and things of that nature, you can be irresistible to your clients. It's all about your value system. If you don't value yourself, you charging $2 for a coaching class, and they like, oh girl, that coaching class is great, right? But you didn't make any money, sugar. That's the problem. So that's the goal, is to make sure all authors are making money after they publish their books.
That is so I could knock on wood, everything true. You can give out the most value and still not be paid what you're worth. Whereas they'll go down the street and pay hundreds and thousands to somebody who's trying to rip them off because they didn't see it when you were genuine with them. We're not gonna slide right past something that you said though, because I think this is important. You mentioned your personal board of directors, not just for business, but for life. Let's talk about that, because there's people out here right now. They might not be ready to be authors, but right now they're thinking about different business ventures, or even trying to get their life in a better place. Let's talk about that board of directors and how can they establish one for themselves.
Yeah, so that's something I talk about wherever I go. So a few years ago, I implemented. My mother was the chairman of my board. Shout out to my Mama Cora, but she's been emeritized. Okay, so now she's just my mama. But my mother was the chairman of my board of directors. It doesn't have to be your mother. It could be anybody, your spouse, your best friend. It doesn't even have to be someone that is a friend of yours. It could be a life coach. It could be, but you have to have, just like when you build a business, you have your president, your vice president, your treasurer, whoever's on your executive team. I established an executive team for my life to keep me in purpose, right? Because I have the tendency to get bored easily. And so I'm like, oh, I don't want to do that. And then it looks flighty. It looks like I don't know what I'm doing or whatever the case may be. So they help me stay in purpose, not just everything, even the personal decisions I made. Even in my marriage, at one point, my husband and I were going through a very tough time. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to do this no more, right? And so they were like, well, Adrienne, give it some time, work on yourself. Like, so they held me accountable to my greatness, right? Held me accountable to my purpose. And so I want to tell you, I don't care if you don't want to be an author. Even if you just want to sell peanuts on the street, you still need a team. You need a team of board of directors that say, hey, I haven't seen you in a while. I haven't seen you on Facebook. I haven't seen you on social media. What's going on? What do you need? And if you only have people in your life who take from you, they shouldn't be on your board. Your board of directors are these individuals that they are very familiar with your purpose, very familiar with your impact, very familiar with the people you are called to, and they're going to make sure you stay in that purpose. So like I said, I started that about 10 years ago, just really having accountability partners. And so my chairman now is one of my best friends. Well, he's my best friend right under my husband, Elam B. King. He's my business partner and he's one of my best friends, but he's also the chairman of my board of directors. So because I'm kind of cute, okay? And so I'm married, okay? And so the fellas are still looking beautiful. Just because you're married don't mean you can't look, sugar, okay? And so I said, hey, brother, you need to hold your girl accountable. That's what it's about. It's okay to be human. It's not about being perfect, but it's about getting people that you can be vulnerable with, you can be real with, and say, hey, this is a struggle I'm having. I got writer's block. Get a writer on your board of directors, right? And make sure even on your board of directors, that it's a mutually beneficial relationship. You don't want to be the type of person that's always taking, but how are you adding value to their life, right? You may not be on their board, but you can at least be in the seats of their life and cheering them on, right? So that board of directors thing is huge because they help me stay in purpose. I do not take credit for being as dope as I am, okay? I give it to God and my team. They are amazing. And my husband, of course, he's my covering. He holds me accountable. He protects me. He makes sure that I'm where I need to be. And I even had a revelation about that. I was thinking our marriage was supposed to be this. And my board of directors was like, no, it don't. It don't need to be that. So I now can really focus on my purpose because I've removed all the clutter that I didn't need to focus on. So please, as you're building the framework for your business, you have to have a framework of board of directors for your life.
That's dope. I want to say 2010 is when I kind of started as far as having people that pour into me, and we giving shouts out. I got to give a huge shout out to my mentors, and they both do different things. So one of them, Saul Paul, who always like, yo, what you doing now? What's next? Right. And he's always asking what's next. And then my other mentor, Sean Harderman, who whenever I call him and we start talking, he's that pit bull on my chops. Like, nah, look, you need to step it up. Stop worrying about what other people thinking. They ain't got no value in your life. Make it happen. And then, like you said, I have accountability partners, and I have people in place that I can call at different points for different things. So that is crucial. If it had not been for those types of people in my life, then I would listen to some of those naysayers. He said this, he said that. I stay to myself. I don't have time to worry about others. But those mentors, that accountability team always helps you to elevate. So if the term board of directors is too much to comprehend right now for some, get you some accountability partners and some mentors, some people that are going to continue to pour into you. And again, find that professional coaching if you need to to go to the next level. I got to give a huge shout out to the realest coach I've ever had, Kendall Ficklin, who when I went to him with the speaking, and he was like, "Nah, you need to be getting paid this for every speaking engagement that you do, because you already dope, you already got the content." So there's a lot of people out there that have done and have poured in, and I love the fact that that's something that you said you got to build, you got to work on you first as well as the business. Because if you ain't got a strong foundation for who you are, people will eat you up the higher you go when it comes down to business, because they're always looking for that weak link at the next level.
That's
So
right.
definitely. What are some other things that have helped you to succeed to this point? Because I know I want to talk about the real stuff, like, because I love the energy, but tell us about some of those hard points that you've had to overcome to continue to get to where you are right now.
Yeah. So some of the hard parts was, as I stated before, I was in corporate America, right? So, God has always blessed my husband and I to, we had the two income family and the two kids. Shout out to Adrienne and Trey, 17 and 16 now. But we always had the boy and girl and the two parent household with the two incomes, and so we were living the dream. And so Mr. Bell was like, appreciate your severance check, sis, but you need to get back to work, right? And so that was a major blow, because once I realized that this is what I wanted to do full time, it wasn't in our original agreement. So it was tough in our marriage for that short period of time. No, it was not peaches and cream. It was tough. It was tough financially, because we were used to a certain level of income, a certain lifestyle, a certain way of living, because we both were blessed to bring, a great income to the family. So, when you're starting out, that every 2 weeks, this is gone. Right. So he was used to seeing, and the way our accounts were set up, I got paid 1 week, he got paid the other week. So we was living the dream. So when that check started coming in and it was just his, it was a problem. And it almost literally ruined our marriage, because I don't want to say ruined it. I did not do a good job explaining the vision. I was just like, this is what I want to do, and I didn't ask for this, just got all super emotional. But you cannot be emotional when you're building an empire. It's about being focused. And I did not articulate that well to him. And so once I was able to articulate that, things got better, but it was tough. I mean, we were at the brink of divorce, because he was thinking, he even told me, he'll tell you, sugar, you want to be with me, you gotta have a job, period. Like, that's where he was. But it wasn't that he was some kind of sexist or, women gotta work type thing. It was like, that was the agreement. I was never one of those women, and shout out to the women who like to stay home and take care of your kids. That ain't what I wanted to do, sugar. I liked working. Okay. I had been working since I was 15. So I was never one of those people that just needed to be home. Right. And so when I was home, and he sees me working every day, but the bank account wasn't looking like it was looking when I was working. Right. Yeah. So that was tough. And so I want to encourage couples, especially if your husband or your wife or both of you are moving into entrepreneurship, full-time entrepreneurship, you have to have realistic expectations. I did not set the proper expectations for him. I did not have articulate a plan. I didn't know what I was doing. This is not something like I told you, my destiny demanded this. This was not something that I asked for, right? I didn't get fired from my job. They asked me to leave because I was doing my job too well. Who does that, right? But so I said all that to say the tough part was when that money was not right. That money was funny, and the change was strange, right? And it was something that we weren't used to. And so that was a very dark time in our marriage and our family. We had even gotten homeless for a little while, because had become homeless for a little while, because we didn't have a lot of communication about money even before that. But my point is, me not working made it worse, right? And so it had been, I'm thankful that it happened, but it was tough. And I will recommend that if you're looking to go full time, don't quit your job and then articulate the vision. Articulate the vision and give your spouse the option to say, I don't want to do that, and be okay with that, right? Be okay with that's with what you want to do. And so that was a tough time in our lives. Very, very tough. But we got through it. Now I get to do what I want. I go where I want. I shop where I want. He's amazing. He's wonderful. And he's like, when the money did start coming in, he said, oh, this is legit. I said, I just didn't tell you how I was gonna do it, sugar, but I got it now. And so now, we're blessed, and just we made a pact to trust the process. And so now that we've done that, we definitely get to live abundantly. So I'm excited about that.
Hey man, huge salute, because I've experienced the opposite as well.
Mm-hmm.
And like you say, when the vision isn't articulated and both parties aren't on the same path, like I had an amazing person in my life that decided that they no longer wanted to be part of that vision with me.
Yep.
And now that things are a lot better, it's like I can honestly say, hey, thank you. Maybe God removed you for a reason, but
Mm-hmm.
no hard feelings. And I think like now you're touching on something that's close to my heart, right? When it comes down to entrepreneurship and relationships, right? Because there are a lot of people who are in those relationships and their spouse has been in the corporate grind, the 9-to-5 grind forever, or they are dating someone who's used to being in the 9-to-5 grind. So you talked about that communication, that piece is essential. Like, so how do you, if we could, let's craft a plan for communicating that. Because I know there's some single people out here that's like, man, I want to be an entrepreneur, but I also want to be in a relationship. And from what I see, I can't have both. And you're saying, yes, you can.
Absolutely.
Like, so how do they go? How do they go in and do that? Like, how would you break that down for them to craft that vision plan for themselves and their spouses or their potential partners?
Well, let me take you through what I do, because when I have, for example, 60%, 70% of my clients are male, okay, are men. And many of them are married. And so I always talk to the wife, because 9 times out of 10, that man is going to be quitting his job or has quit, or maybe he got laid off and he's trying to do something different. I always talk to the wife, right? And I find out, or the girlfriend or the fiance, how do you really feel about him doing this? Now, I do have men that allow their wives, and I say allow. Some of y'all are like, oh, allow, sugar. I said it, okay? It's because people be being all extra, like, oh, well, a woman should be able to do what she wants. Just like a man can't do what he wants, I don't get to do what I want, okay? And so let me just put that out there. But the first thing I do is I ask her, what are your fears regarding entrepreneurship? And normally they say the security, or my dad always worked. I've never, my dad always had a job or whatever. So there's certain mindsets that come into the relationship, that they bring into the relationship, rightfully so, especially if your man is a multiple 6-figure earner and then he goes from, making zero for a little bit. That could be kind of tough, or y'all are living off his retirement or whatever the case may be. So the first step is I ask the other person, what is your fear about them going into entrepreneurship full time? And they'll say, I don't want to be broke. I see people that do entrepreneur. When people say, some women don't even date a guy who's an entrepreneur, because now entrepreneurship is synonymous for lazy, right? And it's like, if you're a real entrepreneur, it's not, you're really creating something that does not exist. So if you're with the guy, he's talking about he's an entrepreneur, but you don't see no fruit, he's not an entrepreneur, he's lazy, right? Or she's lazy, right?
Yeah. Huh? He using false titles. That's
exactly.
That sucker. There's a word I want to put out to sucker, but
so first thing is find out what is your fear. In most cases, it's security. But once I'm able to help them build that framework and they can see, okay, 18 months, I can stick with this. 6 months, okay, I can ride with that. If people know the plan, in many cases, they will subscribe to it. But what happens is that this is what we'll say, this is what I want to do, and who don't like it, they can leave, right? That's wrong. You can't do that, especially if you have children. You can't expect your spouse or your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever to take on the heavy burden because you want to be famous. No, it has to be a thing where there's a conversation. It's really very, very simple. It's a conversation, and ask them, what are your fears and what could we do? To what frameworks, what benchmarks can we put in place so that you feel comfortable, so that you don't feel played, so that you're not dishing out y'all's rent to pay for something, which is why I do revenue strategy, so that you don't have to come out, you should not have to come out of your house budget to be an entrepreneur. You just shouldn't, right? Now, some people are like, well, how you do that? Easy. You can raise capital. With my clients, I do capital campaigns. I will go to your friends and family, be like, look, Keisha needs $25,000. Okay, this is what she's going to do with it, and this is how she's going to do it. Some people pay it back. Some people want their money back. Some people don't. They just want to give it, right? But it's all in the conversation, making sure that they understand, this is what I want to do. This is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to get there. And then give them an out clause. If it doesn't work, you can leave, or you can do something different. You know what I mean? Like, don't make them feel stuck because you got a vision or you got a plan. We have to understand that everybody is not an entrepreneur. I had to give my husband grace in that area, because I was like, well, you should be working so you can quit your job. He's like, girl, I like my job. I don't want to quit my job. Right? I like what I do, right? And so everybody is not equipped. It's not even an equipment thing. It's a entrepreneurship is not a buzzword. It is an innate ability to create something from nothing, literally. And if you're like, I'm not built that way, then you should have a job, right? If people say, I don't like sales, entrepreneurship is not for you, because that's all it is. It's sales at the end of the day, essentially. So that's what I would do for individuals who are in relationships, who want to be in a relationship. Tell them the plan. Now, tell them the plan only if you plan on being with them. Now, don't tell them and be like, you go on the first date and be like, look, do you like entrepreneurs? Well, you should probably get that out of the way before you take her out. Okay. But before you go out with him, you need to be like, sugar, do you have a job? You don't? Okay. What do? You drive Uber? Okay. Then at least she has an idea, right? But I feel like that's where people go wrong in relationships. They just live in this fantasy world instead of having these crucial conversations, because you cannot be with an entrepreneur and not have crucial conversations. It is totally, totally impossible.
Yeah, exactly. That's dope. You mentioned the revenue generation, right?
My favorite thing to do.
Okay. And I know it is for you, because I love the conversations that we have where you like, look, well, this is what we need to do to make it happen. Talk about it. I want them to go ahead.
Well, don't be trying to give my stuff away for free.
We ain't giving it. Listen. There's a lot of good information, and I hope, just like I am, I don't have my pen and pad on me right now, but if y'all are listening to this woman, when I tell you she is absolutely amazing, she is a woman of God. She does genuinely honor her husband, and we've had some of those conversations offline about these same topics. So if y'all are listening at the end of this and you really want to take yourself to the next level as an entrepreneur, I'm gonna co-sign and say she's the real deal. She's not selling you no packages that are out here just to sell a package. She genuinely does help you put in the work. So, and like I said, if I co-sign on it, my word is my life. So, but let's talk about it. The revenue generation for new entrepreneurs. You said that they don't have to go into their household budget. Help me out with that one.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Going back to that capital campaign, right? most people, if you are buying a house, you will do a housewarming party. People will buy stuff for your house. You can do the same strategy for your business. So when you hear people about people going to Silicon Valley and they give them $1 billion to start the next Twitter or the next Uber or whatever, like you can do that in your own small community of people. Everybody in your sphere of influence ain't broke, sugar. They just ain't gonna give you no money without a plan, right? And so once the plan is articulated, people will give you money. They really will. I personally, my husband and I, we love investing in business owners with a plan, right? So you don't have to come out of, you don't have, I'm not gonna, this one lady told me she didn't pay her rent, she didn't pay her mortgage for a year to fund her business. Now, appreciate your pre-foreclosure business plan, ma'am, okay? However, there was a more excellent way to do that, right? So your credit score is now at 237, right? But now you have this amazing business, but your credit score is 237, right? I don't even think it can go that low. But anyway, so if there's a more excellent way to do it. So yes, she had the on-hand cash to start whatever business. I think it was like a spa or something. But she was also in debt. She didn't lose her house, but she's just now catching up. There's a more excellent way. But she was like, I don't want anybody to get credit for my ideas. We got to stop that, entrepreneurs. We have to stop that where we're so afraid that somebody's going to take our ideas. Listen, there's nothing new under the sun. And yes, you do need to copyright and trademark and protect your work. However, okay, look at Walmart. It's 76 boxes of macaroni that say great value on it. How many boxes of macaroni can you sell? They're selling them, right? Mm-hmm. So I said all that to say revenue generating is not just about, oh, I'm gonna go take out a loan at a bank. These banks ain't trying to give nobody no money, not really, right? Even with the stimulus, people were going to get the PP, whatever. Hey, congratulations if you got it. But people didn't read the fine print. So they're like, wait, I gotta pay taxes on that? Oh, wait, that's revenue? Yes, sugar, that's revenue. Yeah. But there's a more excellent way. So doing those capital campaigns where you bring, 10 or 12 people that are willing. Now, you may not be able to do it, but you can hire a strategist to go in and raise that money for you, raise that capital for you. That's part of what I do. If you can articulate the plan, the money will come. If you do everything that's free, there's so many entrepreneurs who say, authors, whatever, well, I need $10,000 before I can make a move. If you can't do all the stuff that's free, you're not going to do the stuff when you get the money. If you can't be trusted to make free moves, I can't even get you to post on Facebook for free. But you want $1,000 to boost the post. Ma'am, knock it off. You have to do the stuff that's free first. People will invest when they see you doing what's free, right? And people will say, oh, wow, I didn't even know you were working on this. That is fantastic. Here's $10,000. Here's $1,000, right? So revenue generation first starts with you having a ironclad plan that people can sow into. Everybody's not trying to give you a loan. Some people will just give it to you and say, go and be great, right? Another great way that you don't have to use your household funds is pre-selling. When you pre-sell your book, I tell my clients, you can pre-sell your book up to a year in advance, right? You can say, hey, my book's coming out, and people will buy your book. You can use those funds to hire Dr. Destin. Don't hire me. I'm sending all my clients to him going forward, okay? Just so you know, I am out of business. I'm not taking no new clients, all right? So I told my clients, listen, if you're not in by this date, I'm sorry, I'm not taking any new clients as it relates to publishing because Dr. Destin is going to take that part of my business over. So I'm grateful for the partnership. I'm going to start with the strategy. He's going to finish the books. So my point is, you don't have to come out of pocket. You can create a framework where people say, yeah, I'll help you pay for that, or I'll sponsor this, or I'll sponsor that, or I'll be a vendor at your event. There's so many ways that you can do things without having to come out of pocket and not pay your rent because you're trying to be great. Stop it. And my husband and I, we've done that. We used to be in ministry years ago. And I mean, we still love Jesus. We just don't do ministry, okay? Not in that way. Amen. And so, we were like, remember I told you we, had pretty nice salaries. So we were helping the homeless. That helping like, oh, wait, it's time to pay out. Oh, we don't have no money because we done gave it away trying to help, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a way to be great, and it doesn't all hinge on how much money you have up front. Sometimes it's, have I done everything that's free? Do I show up when it's free? And most of us won't even show up when it's free. And that's why I'm not into the whole law of attraction thing, because they took it from the Bible anyway. But if faith without works is dead. Okay. So if you're doing all this stuff and you have no free frameworks in place, money will not come to you. But people will give you money when they sense and feel greatness. When they're like, he's on his way somewhere. I'm gonna help him. She's dope. She kind of laying low, but I think I want to be around her. I don't know why, but I think I want to give her some money to do whatever she needs to do. That starts from within. It's not, if it's all about the money, you will always be broke, period. If you make it about the money, you will always be broke. You have to make it about the impact. And that's when the money and the revenue generation comes. So when I do my think tanks, I start with the inward first. If you have a bad relationship with money, if you're like, well, my money mindset, if it's jacked up, you will never have any, and I'm wasting your time, right? So until we get that relationship with money fixed, you will never have any. And so my job is to make sure that you create revenue streams that when you want to quit your job, you can, because the plan is in place. Or you want to make multiple six figures or millions or whatever. When I tell people I'm going to be a billionaire in 10 years, they're like, who says I want to be a billionaire? Me. I did, because that's the frameworks that I'm putting in place to do that. What are you going to do in 10 years? Maybe it's not to be a billionaire. Maybe it's to be a millionaire. Maybe it's to be a New York Times bestseller. Whatever it is, it costs you nothing to set the goal. Nothing. And many of us won't even do what's free. And setting the goal, starting the plan, getting the revenue generating plan in place, the money will come.
Yeah. A lot of people won't even start with something as simple as pen and pad and writing it out.
Man, like, it's free. It's free. Put it in your phone. Man. Writer's block is not an excuse. If you have writer's block, you don't have mouth block. Get your phone out and record yourself talking. This is my book. I was thinking about this. Just record yourself talking. If you can't, sometimes looking at that blank sheet of paper will intimidate you, especially when you see other people who love writing and they just like, oh, I'm on my 17th book. Boo, I don't care. I can't get this one out. I don't care about your one book, right? But if you can record yourself talking, turn on your Zoom. You only got 40 minutes on it. So go ahead and Zoom yourself 40 minutes, record it, go back and listen and write it, send it to Sugar Ray so his team can transcribe it for you, okay? There is no excuse. It's free to record yourself. It's free, right? So those are the kind of things that we can put in place and get it done and stop it with the excuses. We gotta stop it.
Man, I love that. One of my I always wear this bracelet. I don't know if you can see it, but one of my friends who I consider a brother makes these bracelets. It says your excuses don't excuse you, right?
That's right.
And the beautiful thing is, just as you were talking about all the work that goes in and creating something from nothing, I remember those days. A lot of people look at all the work. Like, I'll go back to what I had done with youth programs. I started with a zero budget, literally a zero budget, and took it to where it happened. Every book that I've ever had, I've pre-sold the books that allowed me to purchase the initial copies of the books. And it's something that I teach as well. When it comes down to creating the group that I have now, it started with vision and simply asking who wants to become a published author, right? Because if you don't ask, and you say the law of attraction comes from Matthew 7:7. Seeking you shall find, knocking the door shall be open, asking it shall be given. That's right there in the Bible. That's the law of attraction in a nutshell. And God already told us, in the streets, we say it this way: closed mouths don't get fed.
Period.
And the Bible, God says, asking it shall be given. So I 100% agree with you. If you aren't willing to do the free stuff, show up. Just show up. Show up on those. Take some of those free webinars. Take some of those. Read those books that are out there. There's 1,000,001 podcasts out right now. I'm on intake ministry all day. I'm always listening to something that's gonna help me grow. And I might listen to an hour worth of podcast and hear 2 seconds and like that was all I needed.
Yes.
It's just
Absolutely.
that 2 seconds. But most people are like, man, well, my show and the football game is on right now. And like right now, Dak is out for the Cowboys. So, but I still gotta support them. We them boys. Whatever. And it's like you spend money and time in places that you're getting no ROI. You're not getting any return on investment.
That's right.
And this is where you're spending the majority of your time. If you're a coach, absolutely spend your time watching the games.
Right.
If that has nothing to do with your business, then find something that does and hone in on your craft and connect, network, find people that are like-minded. And I love what you say, the ones who are serious, because that's the crowd that I love. When you see that one person who's serious, and I mean dead serious, and they putting in the work, you see the results because it's like I know what it takes.
That's
All you
right.
got to do is do the work. I had a similar story to you in that I wasn't forced out of corporate America, but I got the greatest compliment insult in one sentence. And it was at a job. Like I respect the people that I am still connected to that are from that company that I'm connected to on Facebook now. Some of the people that I'm not connected to, there's absolutely a reason why I don't connect with people. I'm very empathic. I don't connect with everybody. My spirit don't align with everybody. But this particular and see, just like that, Ed comments on my post about the Dallas Cowboys. Ed, I'm gonna call you offline. I'm gonna cuss you out. But but one of the managers in the building gave me the greatest compliment insult in one sentence that changed the whole way I looked at what I was doing because I kept continuing to try moving up, try moving up, try moving up. I've excelled at everything I've done there. I've taken 75% of all the escalation calls in the building. There's over 500 agents in the building. I'm taking 75% of those escalation calls. I've coached agents up from agent to supervisor or agent to under the supervisor to supervisor. I've been employee of the month in multiple departments. I've led the stats and still couldn't move up. And she told me, I know what the problem is. You think like a business owner. You don't think like a supervisor. And I was like, I'm insulted, but I'm flattered at the same time because now you just freed me from having to be in this business that I had no business being in the first place. It allowed me to hone my skills, and it was hard walking away, but it was one of those things, like you say, that moment is what freed me
Yeah.
to actually start walking in and making an impact because looking back at it, it was like there's this track record of helping. Now I actually get to help those who I choose to help. So I love that about it. Um, and that's what entrepreneurship is being willing to make the impact, being willing to make those difficult calls, have those difficult conversations, filter out, or let me not say filter, purge your circle.
Come on.
Purge your circle. If they ain't supposed to be around you, tell them get the from around me real quick. I can't say it because we're recording, but yeah, tell them to get away from you. If they are not good for you, you don't have to be around somebody. We live a life of choice.
That's
If
right.
they're not good for you, get them away from you. And surround yourself with the people that are there to nurture you, that are there to blossom you, that are there to help you grow, and that will pour into your vision and sow into your ministry. Because businesses, for some of those people, some businesses actual people who care about people, we do ministry.
That's right.
It doesn't matter what business you put us in, we're still doing ministry because our impact is about people. It's about people. It's about helping people get out of their own way and seeing who they could truly be. Because I wasn't born with that silver spoon in my mouth. I still got generational curses to break. And I'm not stopping until all the generational curses that were assigned to me are taken care of on my watch. I got a large family, and I guarantee you I live and die for those who are coming behind me. So that's my take. I ain't mean to go in on no rant, nothing like that. Hey,
It's
listen,
okay. It's Sunday. Let the
listen.
church say amen.
Hey, hallelujah. But listen, where can people find you? And I want to talk about that 200 bestseller challenge that we put out there.
Mhm. Mhm. So first things, you can definitely reach me. I am the real Adrienne Bell on all social media platforms. Even my email address is the real Adrienne Bell at Gmail. So you can send me an email, hit me up. Somebody from your academy hit me up too that I need to get with. I'm supposed to buy his book. So I forgot to do that. But if you're watching, sir, I just remembered I'm gonna go back and buy your book. But anyway, as far as that 200 person challenge, so what's going to happen? The 200 people, 200 authors, whether you're an author who has already released a book, you need us to reread it, refresh it. Maybe your cover is not really hitting on nothing because people will create a cover. It's like, girl, where you get that from, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes we'll kind of pinch pennies to save money, but then you end up spending more money trying to save money, right? And so whether you're already a published author, or you're in progress of writing your book, needing help finishing your story or finishing your the framework for your book, we are coming together creating 200 best-selling authors over the next 52 weeks. Okay. And we have a huge celebration that we're planning to do because there's so many people that have so many things that they want to share with the world. I always subscribe to what Dr. Miles Monroe says, which is to die empty. And so in order to do that, you got to write, you got to talk, you got to get on the road, you got to get it out of you so that you can impact other people. So 200 best-selling authors. Listen, it's going to be fantastic. So if you want, get with Dr. Destin though, okay? Don't call me, call him because he is the man as it relates to, I'm going to help you with your strategy. He's going to help you as far as getting the book done and re-established. So, because there's no point in being a bestseller and you still ain't got no money. So we're going to make sure that you're a comprehensive brand so that you can get what you need to go to the next level. Okay, so I'm excited about that. I'm super excited about that.
I'm super excited about that as well. 200. Can one author have multiple books? Come on, of course.
Man, listen, we had one author
that was from Nolan. That was from Nolan.
Oh my God. That's because he hit multiple bestseller in several categories last couple weeks ago. So congratulations, Mr. Davis.
Yeah, and so we are going to put the flyers out soon, put the enrollment process out soon. And trust me, the calendar will fill up faster than y'all think. We're seeing bestseller. I just put it this way: for those who have actually put in the work and were serious,
absolutely,
each and every one of the ones that we've launched, whether it be on one side or together, have all come out as number one Amazon bestsellers. We're not telling you how to become a bestseller. We can show you the blueprint on how to make it happen as a number one. So it's been more than 10 in the past 2 months, and just let that sink in. So the real Adrienne Bell, make sure you spell it ADRIENNE, ADRIENNE,
yes.
Bell. Adrienne
and if you Google
Bell.
me, yes, Adrienne E. Bell, because there's another Adrienne Bell out there, and she don't look like this. Okay, so just so you know, like I don't think this is her. It's probably not. Adrienne E. Bell.
See, luckily I can play the R. Kelly song every time you search my name. There can only
You
be
always got a
one me.
song. Like, it's just ridiculous.
I live in music. Well, listen, it has been a pleasure. I hope everybody out there has enjoyed, has gotten some good information from our conversation today. Um, and y'all definitely connect with us because we are serious about what we do. We ain't here to go in your pockets. We're here to elevate you to your level of greatness. And I can tell you from experience working with Miss Adrienne, Mrs. Adrienne Ebel, that she puts the foot down when it comes down to the work that is required. And I'm the very same way. If you ain't serious about it, then don't even ring our lines because not being cocky, but we are passionate about what we do. And when you're around passionate people, you can see that passion shine through and through and through to the point that we want to help you achieve levels that you've never seen before because we've already been there and we want you to experience it. There's so many people out there who are waiting and seeking that credibility. And it's like, let's work on the inside, then work on the outside while at the same time working on what it's going to take for you to take it to the moon and beyond. Right.
That's right.
And so at this point, I want to do something because I always do a cash app giveaway,
Woohoo.
$25 cash app giveaway. So for the first person on the live, now if you're in a watch party, you cannot be in the watch party because I cannot see you from the watch party. So go over to the actual live video because the first person that comments cash within the next 30 seconds, and I'm putting 30 seconds on it, will receive a $25 cash app giveaway. There's no stipulations on it. It's just a free $25 cash app giveaway that we do because we want to see you blessed. We want to see you prosper, and we know that these times aren't the best for everybody that's going through 2020 right now.
That's right.
Really, Nolan?
Oh,
Nolan
wow.
Nolan was the first person to comment cash. But you know what?
Anybody but Nolan Davis.
I can't do it that way. I can't do it that way. Nolan does so much amazing work. Just launched
He
his new
does.
website, nolandavis.com. And so he pours into so many people in the community.
He
It's an
does.
honor. I'm gonna be on your cash app.
And I'm gonna match
in a
that.
second.
I'm gonna send him $25 too. I'm gonna match that on
Okay,
my phone.
there we go.
Oh, I'm on my phone.
So see,
So
Nolan
Nolan,
just
I'm
got
gonna send you $25. That $25 goes to Mrs. Davis though. Let her go put some on her mani pedi or something.
Nolan said gonna give it to the next person. So
Oh, he
what we
doesn't
do,
want
the
it?
next person in line was Miss Dora. We can actually do two. I'll do one, and then Miss Pam Rivers Mays was next in line, and
Okay.
she actually has her cash app in here.
Okay, so I'll do Miss
So
Pam and you'll do the Miss
I,
Dora.
I'll do Miss Dora. So listen,
Congratulations, ladies.
it's like that. Congratulations, two people this week have won $25 cash app giveaway. We love y'all, and as always, we'll